Hey everybody, Jeremy here, and this is the Midea 10-in-1 2-zone air fryer oven. This has a retail price of $179.99, and it is the type of air fryer that you're going to want to have for when you need to cook 2 meals at one time and when you need both of those meals to be completed at the exact same time. And I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to achieve that, as well as go over all of the features that this air fryer has to offer. Now, right off the bat, this is an 11-quart unit, which includes a 6-quart air fryer basket on the top and a 5-quart toaster oven down in the bottom. And what's great about these two separate compartments is that you can assign different functions in different temperatures and different cooking times to them independently. So for example, you can have the top portion air frying and then have the bottom portion set to bake. Or you can have the top portion set to grill and then have the bottom portion set to reheat. And the other thing about this air fryer is that it has built-in Wi-Fi. That's right, your air fryer now connects to your home Wi-Fi network. And when you do that, you'll be able to download the Smart Home app, and you'll be able to do things such as monitor the air fryer. You can control it directly from the app. You can set the different modes and the temperatures from within the app. And then it also includes a recipe guide for different meals. So it can be appetizers or desserts or entrees. It'll show you exactly the ingredients that you need and the measurements that you need. It'll show you the different steps that you need to prepare, and then you'll be able just to tap a button in order to send the appropriate cooking information to the air fryer oven. So all you have to do at that point is just simply press the start button and it'll take care of everything for you. So it just makes things a lot easier for you, especially if you are a more digitally oriented person. All right, so before I start cooking today's meal, which is going to be steak and beans using both the top and the bottom portions, let's go over some of the modes that this air fryer has. And while I go over those modes, let me show you everything that you get with this air fryer. So you got the top portion, which includes that 6-quart air fryer basket. And then you also have this included plate that you can easily just put right down inside of the basket. And it is a nice firm fit. There's a look at the inside of it. It does have a light function, so you can turn the light off and on. And then at the very bottom portion, you've got the toaster oven that comes with a tray that you can use to put all of your food on, as well as a crumb tray that sits at the bottom of the oven. So operating this oven is going to be a combination of using a physical dial as well as touch capacitive buttons. And as you can see, the upper and the lower buttons are flashing. So depending on which compartment that you want to use, you simply tap the corresponding button and you'll see all the different modes that we have lined up on top. So we have air fry, we have grill, dehydrate, bake, roast, broil, reheat, toast, bagel, and keep warm. So when you want to choose your temperature and when you want to set your time, you just simply click the center wheel, and then you'll see there's your time function here. So you can press time and then you can just turn this dial to set your appropriate time. And then you can also tap the temperature button and set the appropriate temperature. Different modes are going to have different maximum temperatures. The maximum temperature for the air fryer mode is going to be 400 degrees. So when you're ready to cook, you can just hit this little play button right here and you'll be off to the races. But if you want to also use the bottom portion as well, you can click the lower button here and you'll have access to all of the same modes as you did before. So let's just say I wanted to use bake this time, and the same thing works this way. So you just simply push in the button, you set your time, you set your temperature. So let's say you want your temperature to be 360 degrees for baking. And you see your time here is 15 minutes. Now, if you want both things to be completed at the exact same time, you hit the sync finish button here. And how that's going to work is whatever is going to take longer to cook is going to start that first and is going to leave the other compartment on hold. And then once both of those times even out, it will turn on the one that's on hold and they'll both be finished at the exact same time. And then once this gets to 15 minutes, this will automatically start by itself. And when you want to stop either portion, just hit the X button and it'll cancel out either one on the top or the one at the bottom, depending on what you want. And remember, you can do the same thing inside of the smart home app as well. So for dinner tonight, I'm going to be making these green beans in the lower portion. And then in the top portion, I'm going to be making this chuck eye steak. I would have preferred ribeye steak, but hey, y'all got to make sacrifices, right? And this is going to be incredibly easy to do, and I'm going to make sure that both of these are done at the same time. So to achieve that, first, I'm going to take these green beans and I'm going to slot them right into the bottom portion of the air fryer. And I'm going to put the steak on the top. But here's a little tip. If you have one of these wired temperature probes, you can use that to keep the temperature of your steak or whatever meat that you have, and you can still close the door to this air fryer and it will not interrupt the operation. So this is definitely something that's ideal if you're cooking something like steak and you want to make sure that you cook it to a specific temperature. This steak I'm going to be going for around a mid-rare to a medium. Temperature now is about 51 degrees. It's been sitting out for about 10 minutes or so. But I can just slide this right in, close it up just fine, no problems, and then close the oven door. All right, so now let's start the cooking parameters. Let's start with the upper portion, which is where the steak lives. I'm going to be using the grill function since that's the highest temperature setting, 450 degrees. And as for the time, I'm going to set it at 13 minutes. All right, and remember, we're going to be cooking to temperature and not necessarily time, but we're going to do 13 and see where we can get from there. Now I'm going to go to the lower portion. I'm also going to be using the grill function for this one as well, also at 450 degrees. For this one, for the time, I'm going to up it to 16 minutes for the beans. I'm going to hit the sync finish button, and now I'm going to press the start button, and now we are off. All right, so let's come back in approximately 16 minutes or maybe about halfway through, see how we are doing with the steak. And then when it's done, have ourselves a nice tasty meal. And at the 13-minute mark, the top portion air fryer is now activated. So they're both running on 13 minutes right now, and they're both going to be done at the same time. But for the steak, what I'm going to be doing is flipping it around when the temperature gets to around about 100 degrees. I will flip the steak over for it to complete the rest of its cycle. And we've got 8 seconds left on both the top and the bottom air fryer. I got my steak almost dead on at 130 degrees before I pull it. The holdover time will certainly take it to that. And here's a look at our steak, which is resting, and the green beans hanging out in the back. So this is pretty much the type of doneness that I like with my green beans, and it's just really great to be able to cook both of these inside of a single machine. It's able to save space, it's able to save on the dishes, and you got a good meal for one or even two people. And that is how I like my steak. All right, so the only thing left to do now is the taste test. These green beans are done just the way that I like for them to be. They've got a nice crunch to them, and I also like mine's a little bit overdone. I kind of like it when they get kind of shrivelly. I don't know, it's just something I like about them, but these green beans are good. And for the beans, I just used some olive oil, Himalayan pink salt, garlic, and black pepper, and everything turned out great. Now, the main attraction, the steak. You saw the steak, but now I get to see how it tastes. You know, for a steak, if you don't want to get crazy fancy with it, trust me, salt and pepper is all that you need. And this steak is really good. So if you're looking for an air fryer that allows you to save space in your kitchen and cook 2 meals at the same time and have them finish at the same time and do a pretty darn good job at it, in addition to some smart features as well, then check out the Midea 10-in-1 2-zone air fryer oven. I'm going to leave the link down in the description so that you can check it out. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'm Jeremy. Take care of yourselves. I'll speak to you soon.